Secret Empire number 5, I gotta admit, I do not know how to review this book. Because normally I would go page to page and tell jokes about it because, hey, it's so awesomely bad. But in all honesty, this one is just bad. It's not even jokey bad. So it's kind of weird to try to take it in the same vein as I would America or one of the SJW comics. It's just an odd book. And it seems like whatever thought I put into the review is going to be more thought than they had put into the book itself. As starting from the cover, this image never appears in it. So they literally said to somebody, hey, you know what? Draw a cool cover with these characters on it. The thing doesn't appear in this book. So if they're not putting thought into it, how much thought can I possibly do? And that's just one of the weird things about reviewing this book that came to me. So the book opens, and right away we get to see that the art is horrendous. I could only assume that it's Andrea Sorrentino's way of handing in her resignation. And that doesn't even take into account the color palette that's saturated with so much blue and green it looks like Zack Snyder's wet dream. And if you look at the credits page, you'll see there's no credit for a colorist. So yeah, somebody pulled their name off, and you realize that Marvel couldn't afford the rights to Alan Smithy. So it opens up, and we see that Madam Viper is conducting some sort of shady deal with a whole bunch of guys who are giving her money. And she says that once they do that deal, then they are loyal to her. Which is, to note, she doesn't say Hydra, she says to her. And then she alerted to the fact that Black Widow has been... And we see Madam Viper confront her, and we see that, well, basically Black Widow is a distraction and her team is on some sort of mission. Now, one thing I do like is the fact that the Hydra lackey punches her in the face, and she says, wait a second, I was cooperating. And Viper just goes, well, yeah, but that doesn't mean we're going to punch you in the face a couple of times. I thought that was a pretty good line. All credit where credit is due. So Black Widow starts singing, telling her everything she wants to know, and she gets a little suspicious. Hey, wait a second, why are you telling me all of this? And Black Widow says, because you don't need to worry what I'm doing here, because I know what you're doing here. And she says that, hey, if you don't help us out to kill Captain America, I'm going to tell him that you're running these backdoor deals here, and he's going to kill you. But if I kill Captain America, then Hydra has a seat open, and you can step into it. She kills her men, and everything's hunky-dory. Also, at the bottom of the page, we get the first of a couple of editing errors. As off-panel, she's saying, what do you need me from me, then? And that got through. This is not the only one of these that just proves that there is no editors at Marvel. And we find out that the mission that the team is on is to gather somebody up that will help win the war, but when they open the doors to find out who it is, it ends up being an old man in a hospital bed. With all we'd lost, this is what we cling to, what we had left. The bonds of friendship, of brotherhood, the knowledge that even in our suffering we were not alone. That brought us something we had not known in so long, peace. In our darkest hour, this is what we kept alive.
Tampax, power over periods.
So in a coach's attempt to make sure that everybody plays, and an obvious showing that this is an anthology book, just culminating everything that happened in the satellite books, we join Ant-Man chatting to his daughter as he's traveling along to Wakanda with Tony Stark, and Tony Stark is the only character who really matters now. This page, it's a huge information dump. Even the way he's talking to his daughter Cassie, he's telling her, hey, we're going after the Cosmic Cube, instead of, hey, Daddy's at work, blah, blah, what's something nice because I'm talking to my daughter. Nothing like that. And then at the end, Nick Spencer reveals that this entire thing is really just an exercise in futility, because he even calls the Cosmic Cube shards MacGuffins, which is a term Alfred Hitchcock used for something that's important to the characters but isn't important to the readers. See, we don't need to care about them getting the Cosmic Cube. We need to care about the journey, or we need to care about them reverting Steve back to Captain America. Points for self-awareness on this. And more props for somebody actually knowing how to use a page to deliver information. I mean, in this page, we see that Tony Stark's asking T'Challa for a cosmic cube piece, and he's refusing because he knows that Tony Stark has a history, plus he believes that the cosmic cube shard is safer in Wakanda. So he basically tells him, hey, if you really care, why don't you bring your shards here where I know that somebody who isn't going to use it for their own gain will keep it. And that's basically the story. Tony Stark didn't get it, and it's done in one page. It's not like I just did a Captain Marvel review where you have like 3 panels just to say hello to somebody. You know, I mean, this is really a good layout. Congratulations, one of 3 bad artists. It looks ugly, but at least it's laid out well. And then the next page ruins it, as it is 2 huge panels that shows that basically they went to Madripoor. That's the only bit of information we get from this. They went to Madripoor. That's all. And it's like the complete opposite of the last page. I mean, can you honestly tell us what, if there are no word balloons, can you tell what's going on right here? Sequential art should be just that. You should be able to understand the story just by looking at the pictures. All I see is someone's going to get sued for using Starro the Conqueror. But actually, they're dropped into a big crowd controlled by a guy named Hive. Iron Man blasts him in the face, knocking him out, and the fight is over. I keep running into problems reviewing this book because it's not bad in a fun way. It's just bad, like, there's no motivation. Why are we watching these people try to stop Tony Stark and his crew? What are their motivations? They're in Madripoor. They're not even in America, which has been established to be the only place that Hydra has really got a foothold. So we see our characters put into these situations we don't understand or are not told as to why they are doing this. And then we get like we just got 2 battles that literally last 3 panels or 4 panels, because Herc steps up to fight this Gorgon character, and everything is shot in close-up, and there's a build-up. Oh, I've killed gods before. And Hercules says, well, when you killed him, he was just a boy. And then we see him punch him once, and it's such a close-up, you'd think Michael Bay is directing this thing. And then it's over. That's it. So we just got 2 battles in 4 panels. And I understand I was just saying something about a good layout and an information dump in a little bit of time, but there are some things that are okay to stretch out. At least 1 page, 2 pages. But this just helps my theory that Secret Empire number 5 isn't a book on its own. It is a book to sell the satellite books. And we find out that the guy that they're here to find is Shang-Chi, and as soon as he sees him, he says, I don't have it. And they say, well, what happened? He says, I'll tell you what I told the last people who tortured me. I had one, yes, but it was taken from me. By who? Mockingbird asks. And we see that it was the White Queen, and he says, I can't remember. And then in another editing mistake, somebody off screen is, you must joking. It's 1 word, guys. Honestly, it's just 1 word. You must be joking. Put it in. Make the word bubble a little bit bigger. Maybe the panel. Maybe that's it. Maybe they just realized, oh, I'm using too big of a font. I can't fit the word be in. Okay, I understand mistakes happen. I really do. But there are a lot of mistakes. Not only just story mistakes, but typo mistakes. I just read a tweet, like literally just read a tweet about 20 minutes ago. Tom Beervort says, oh, I want to stop Twitter because it's all anger. And the reason being is because it seems like there's no editors, and Tom Beervort being him, a lot of our anger is focused on him. You know, get your shit together and start making good books again. Start caring. Care more about the books than your freaking Twitter career. I'm sorry, guys. I think this review's taken a dark turn. Like, for some reason I'm angry or something, but I don't feel angry. I think mainly because this entire book isn't fun, and it is just to sell the satellite books. You know, like the first chapter with Black Widows used to sell the Secret Warriors. And this is just catching us up to what Iron Man and his crew has been doing in their book. Yeah, I mean, and that's the entire purpose. So anyway, they figure, you know what, we haven't found any of the other shards, let's go home. Shang-Chi says, hey, okay, that's cool, but can you give me a ride? And then we get to the other problem that Secret Empire has, is the acquiescence. of all the characters. I'm sorry, Punisher would not follow Hydra. Because if, oh my gosh, he likes Law and Order. No, he likes America. He's an American. He was a soldier. My guess is maybe some of these people would actually believe in the Constitution of the United States and that it keeps people free. And here we have Supreme Leader, Ambassador McCoy, and then they start talking about Thor's hammer and why he leaves it there. And basically Captain America says, well, this is my big dick. Anybody wants to touch my big dick, it's on the line. And that's why he says it, and then he threatens McCoy. I'm sorry, they've gone to war over less than this. We've seen big old crossovers of superhero groups battling each other over less than Captain America takes over the United States. And it just goes with what I have thought before, that the writers nowadays only believe that the time that exists is now. And I understand that, hey, this is their period to create. This is their time to shine. But in order to shine right now, you can't erase what's happened before. You have to build on it. But they haven't done that, and definitely Nick Spencer hasn't. In order for this story to work, he has to erase everything that's gone before. He has turned the real question of Secret Empire isn't why has Cap done this because he's been affected by the Cosmic Cube, but why has everybody else gone along with it? That is the moral question here. Because, you know, Captain America, okay, he's mind controlled. So whether you like Nazi Cap or not, it's understandable because we've seen it before. But everybody who's agreed to it isn't mind controlled. So what they're saying is everybody surrounding Captain America is a potential Hydra agent. Moving on, we get a little bit of a foreshadowing with Scarlet Witch, the fact that she's been taken over by an Elder God, and that the Elder God can't control all of Scarlet Witch's powers, and that we have the Vision, who they're trying to get under their control as well. And then in the best, and I would say only legitimately great thing I've ever seen in Secret Empire, is Thor's crisis of faith. I mean, he's talking about, well, I feel unworthy to carry my own hammer, but I look down and I see my best friend whom I've trusted with my entire life, and I would say he's the most honorable man. I'm paraphrasing here, sorry guys, I could just read it. But he's basically saying that how is it that this man who has turned evil and has got all these evil deeds was able to lift my hammer above his head, and he feels, and Thor himself feels unworthy to do so. I mean, this is a really great scene and a really great show that Thor really does have a crisis of faith. And now if somebody could get Thor a message that Nick Spencer believes that not only does Nick Spencer have a sense of moral relativism, that Mjolnir has a sense of moral relativism as well. And that would explain why Thor loses his hammer after he has a crisis of his own faith. If he was stronger in his own beliefs, even if that belief is he has to crush the freedom of everyone on Earth, then, you know, he would be able to carry his own hammer. So Madam Hydra says that, you know, she's trying to subvert Thor and that Captain America is a son to her. And Tony's crew returns home with their tail between their legs, and that's what this entire page is about. They're just, you know, kind of feeling bad that they didn't accomplish the mission they set out to accomplish, which was to find all the shards of the Cosmic Cube. They even have a, hey, at least we get to return home to our loved ones scene. And then Hawkeye comes up, and they basically just reiterate what was said in the last 2 pages, but, you know, now it's said by a superhero to other superheroes, where basically, hey, look, these people, they had hope that you were going to go out and get those crystals, but now you're coming home empty-handed, and now everybody here is going to feel bad because that was the only hope they had, which is basically what was said on the last 2 pages. And if you notice, there have been times when I've been repeating myself, and I have been doing that on purpose just to show you the monotony of what's been going on with this, because some of this story has just become repetitive and monotonous. Okay, brownie points for anybody who could tell me who Tony Stark is talking to right here, because I do not know. I can't tell by looking. The art gives me no indication as to who he's talking to. They don't say any names, so, you know, hey, if anybody could tell, that would be awesome. Anyway, they're talking about putting a time capsule with a message into the ground where it set off in 100 years to give them a message in the past so they could stop the rise of the secret empire before it actually happens. And something in the conversation they're having about how they didn't get any cosmic cubes and Tony Stark didn't have a cosmic cube GPS, he only used it to give people hope. He was getting information from Rick Jones. He realizes that the secret empire is going to fire upon their base with these War of the World looking ships. And then we see that it's Mockingbird who is the traitor in the midst. So, okay, tension building, I guess. I don't know where it came from, but there you go. And at least the coloring goes along with the 50s sci-fi look of their new Hydra base ships, which also we have to assume that Mockingbird not only agrees with Captain America's Hydra plan, but agrees with the fact that she should murder everybody in that base. Anybody who's not on board with Hydra needs to be killed. That is what they just told us about Mockingbird, or anybody who is with Captain America now. This story is so poorly thought out, and it is such a destruction to the Marvel Universe. I mean, narratively, it really is, because in the end they have to do a complete, oh, we got the Cosmic Cube, we rewrite history, everything that happened before never happened kind of ending in order to get people back to where they need to be. Otherwise, hey, they just made a very, very dark universe. And then we join up with the guys in the woods, which I know one of them Steve Rogers, but I haven't figured out who the others are, and they end up getting captured one by one. And then they do this big old thing where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's you, that guy who we thought was killed before. Look, kids, the Red Skull is still alive. Oh, but that's not the only twist we have coming in Secret Empire, kids, because they're speaking ominously about someone after they just blasted all of their friends to hell. Courtesy of Mockingbird, can't forget that. Mockingbird believes that everybody, including herself, needs to be blown to hell. And what's the last big twist of the issue? Bruce Banner's not dead. Captain America's been keeping him in a Hydra bunker all this time. There you go, and he's saying that he's going to use Bruce Banner to end the war that it looked like he just ended. Which, okay, I'm glad to see Bruce Banner back, and I would love to see a Bruce Banner Hulk title again. You know, that's fine. I mean, you know, characters die and come back all the time. I don't think they should have killed him in the first place. But for whatever reason, this has kind of turned into a civil war. And I mean that by the comic book, where you have people siding with Captain America or against Captain America in this. But the thing is as I said before, everybody who has sided with Captain America has to be okay with what's been going on. And first and foremost, who would actually be okay with the taking over of an entire country? The rewriting of laws that allow man to be free. I mean, that was the basis of a lot of people becoming superheroes. To keep people safe and free. Nick Spencer tends to believe that anybody who would be part of any kind of law enforcement has to be some sort of fascist, therefore would be okay with people losing their freedom or shooting. I mean, I just, good Lord. The book is bad. And the entire series is bad because obviously it hasn't been thought through. Not just now, but for what it should mean in the future. And what they've turned it into is either a Nick Spencer soapbox like the first 4 issues, or issues like this, which is really just telling you what's going on in the satellite books, the Secret Warriors, the Secret Empire Underground, and such like that. I mean, that's all this book was right here, was, you know, they're trying to sell those books. And that's all this thing is. I mean, this entire series was a summary, and then a couple of scenes at bum, bum, bum. And I would tell you that these characters deserve better, but screw that. We deserve better. Anyway, guys, that was my long and angered rant about Secret Empire number 5. What did you think? Did you like the book? Am I wrong? Please let me know if that's the case. And let me know how I'm wrong. That would be very helpful. And I would appreciate anything. You know, so put that in the comments below. If you agree, put that in the comments below. That's always nice to read also. And if you do like videos like this, you want to see more, just click like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything to see more. And we did start a Patreon page, so please go on over there. The link is in the description below. It's I Love Comics, same as the YouTube channel. Toss $1 into the till would definitely help us out, and it's very appreciated. And thank you very much to our first 3 patrons, Jesse Novacek, Sky Roseboom, and the Atomic Cat. I appreciate it very much. And to everyone and them, thank you very, very much for watching.
Underdog, 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 speed of lightning,